As new set of leaders warm up to assume office on May 29 at the federal and state levels, expectations from citizens are mounting on what the incoming administrations should do differently towards improving lives and livelihoods for national growth and development. Recall that the first episode on citizens' expectations from the incoming administration played up issues that border on revamping critical sectors of the economy, including health and education, improving the legislature and its lawmaking processes, putting round pegs in round holes through timely appointments, as well as stepping up the fight against corruption. Today's episode of 30 Minutes is a continuation of the growing expectations of Nigerians for the next government, with focus on inclusive governance. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the program. I am Mitaire Ikpen. As always, the clock is ticking. After the fierce contest that characterized the 2023 general elections, many Nigerians believe it is time to calm frayed nerves and settle down to governance. Analysts are emphatic that one way of achieving this is to promote inclusive governance that will leave no part of the country behind. Lydia Sampson tells us more on what Nigerians expect on inclusive governance and gender mainstreaming.
The dawn of every new administration comes with a lot of expectations from the citizens. Most importantly is the yearning for an inclusive governance that will make the people feel a sense of belonging. This is not unexpected, especially in a multi-ethnic, diverse country like Nigeria. However, many believe Nigeria's democracy experience has been premised on winner-takes-it-all disposition. For the people to be unified and move on from grievances and differences hitherto manifested during electioneering, experts advocate that the new administration must, in the overall national interest, match action with words in building bridges all across geopolitical zones of the country through representative or inclusive governance that will give the generality of Nigerians a sense of belonging.
We've been there, we've walked on the field, and so we are looking and trusting that because of the president-elect, who will be, inshallah, in the next couple of days, become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Congratulations, Senator, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Following his antecedent, he is an all-inclusive person, and it says well for him. So we are looking forward to the change mantra that he's using, a renewed hope. Renewed hope for me, and I think for everybody who work hard for this election, for APC election to be successful, under the renewed hope is everybody will be included in this government, especially my own passion, which is gender, the inclusion of women in decision making at all. We have seen, like I said earlier, his antecedent speaks for him. He's a supporter because his wife is a current senator, but he said, of course, she has to step down and do the role, which is understandable. He must have supported her to be in that role all these years. And we have seen the roll calls of Tinubu's proteges, and it's very impressive. He carries people along, and I swear and I hope and pray that he will do that at the national level.
Whether we like it or not, on the 29th of May, a new government is coming in. And what I expect from this new government is that, one, the 35% affirmative action that the UN have agreed many years ago that Nigeria is lacking behind. From 1%, we get to 9%, 10%, then we drop, now we are at zero level. So I want to see this new government taking its place, setting the pace. I know Rwanda has tried, South Africa has tried, Kenya has tried, Ethiopia here has tried. But let me tell you, as far as Africa is concerned, If Nigeria does not do her best, any other African country is behind Nigeria. So I pray and I look forward that in the next coming government, women will play a major role.
While many are optimistic that the incoming administration's campaign slogan of renewed hope will be pursued to rekindle hope irrespective of political differences, some are cautiously concerned that the winner take all disposition might again play out.
We need to have priorities. And when we talk about priorities, we are looking at the health issues, we're looking at insecurity, we're looking at girl-child education, and when I talk about health, people look at it as we are spending a lot of money in terms of medical tourism. That can be changed. And we're looking at how do we have community engagement. And now again, I'm not here praising His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but during his time as a governor, we've seen what he did by creating more LCD and having this town hall engagement and all-inclusive government. And we want him to bring that to the national level. But this time around, we want a lot of women to be able to be part of the decision-making process, because it's only a woman that knows how to speak for another woman. We have states in this country that at their state House of Assembly, there are no women. So how will the a woman and a girl child issues be heard? Of course, so this is what we are advocating for. So when we say women inclusion, we're not saying just give any woman appointment just to make the numbers, but give the right woman appointment. And please, under your leadership, Your Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senator Kashim Shettima, we need good governance. Once we have good governance, we have citizen engagement, we can now start talking about social contracts. When we talk about social contract, we talk about development. When we talk about development, we talk about sustainable growth. And that's the only way we can achieve the renewed hope.
Our incoming president is ready to carry the bulk of Nigerian women who have given him the massive votes. It's women that come out to vote. It's women and youths, we and our children that come out to vote. So if we want Nigeria to be better off for it, the surest thing is to engage more women. And more women is more development, more upliftment, because the eye a woman sees things is different from the eye a man sees things. A woman is a mother, and whatever she does is in the interest of the family.
Often, it is more of the men in decision-making positions in the country. This is in spite of talented commitment to the 35% affirmative action for inclusion of more women in governance. However, gender advocates believe that few women who made it to elective offices and appointive positions are pointers to the fact that the gender inclusiveness in all sectors must be prioritized.
If the nurturers of the society, who are women, who gives everything to ensure government comes in, government change, they are always there. They give in their lives, they give in their resources and all that. And you know, awareness now, women are getting aware. Go to the grassroots and see. Women in the grassroots participate even more in politics than women in the urban areas. But at the end of it, what do they get? So I don't want to dwell on the past. No. I seriously look forward to the future.
In fact, when we talk about advocating for appointing women, we are not just saying appoint women that don't have the capacity to deliver, but we want women that has the capacity to deliver. So when you have just one or two women, they are doing the best they can, and the best outcome is what we're always yearning for. So on behalf of Nigerian women and girls, I will ask the incoming administrative of His Excellency. Both of them has beautiful antecedents. Both of them has been administrators, former governors, former senators, and you know, their antecedent speaks very well for them. So we believe and sincerely believe that they will be listening to our cries and ensure that women are taken along in terms of decision making inclusive governance.
That women role models abound is not in contestation. 30 Minutes ran into one of such role models, an officer of the Nigerian Police Force, Assistant Inspector General of Police, Aishatu Abubakar Baju. She joined the force as a veterinary doctor and is the current President, Veterinary Council of Nigeria. Aishatu Abubakar Baju is a woman of many parts, also a lecturer and a queen, married to the Emir of Mambila in Taraba State.
Well, I don't want to say that, make a clear statement that women are having a play level ground. We are getting there. That is what I want to say. We are working hard, and honestly, with the present Honorable Minister for Women Affairs, she's doing a great job making sure that there's inclusivity, that women are given the desired opportunities for them to play their role. I think we are getting there, but we are not yet there.
I want to assure you that our incoming president and his wives are both gender sensitive. Yes. They are gender champions. He did it when he was governor in Lagos State. He started with the female deputy governor, the first in Nigeria at that time. And I know his commitment, his belief in women. He will do nothing less.
Gender advocates also stress the need to replicate more women as decision makers as obtainable in other climes in a bid to position Nigeria as a role model in the Committee of Nations. They urge the next federal government to saddle women with more leadership roles and responsibilities in governance.
What we could do now is really advocate and create much awareness that the incoming administration look at how to balance the 35% affirmative action. That's what we're looking forward to, an all-inclusive government that carries people, that listen to people's cry. And of course, women and girls included.
First of all, let me congratulate our own Jagaban of Nigeria for the success at the polls. And I want to congratulate Nigerians for having him at the Home Affairs. Inshallah, it's going to be a new dawn for the Nigerian women. He has done it before, and he's going to do it. He has promised us during campaign that he's going to carry the women in his administration. So definitely sure, we expect so much from him. He has said 35% for the Nigerian women, so we expect to see it.
As Nigerians, you saw what happened to Hilda Baci. You know how she got the massive support from the public. Not minding tribe, no minding religion, no minding anything. People came together, religious bodies and all that. They came out to support this lady. This is what Nigerians should be doing in every area. So I want to advise this government, because one of the fears of the general public is that when they come, everything will become tribal. We don't want to see that.
With a clamor for inclusive governance coming from different voices of note, both within and outside the country, analysts believe inclusive governance is part of the process to unlocking a greater Nigeria where citizens can not only have a level playing ground, but engender confidence for nation building.
Of course, Lydia, a greater nation is what we all desire. Nigerians look forward to far-reaching reforms and anticipate new strategies by the new government towards addressing national challenges. They are equally concerned about the caliber and capacity of persons that will form the new government to drive the strategies for all-round development. Ibrahim Dan Hamidou in our next report brings us more expectations of Nigerians on inclusive governance.
It is now 5 years since the Not Too Young to Run bill was signed into law. The law seeks to promote increased participation of youth in governance and political processes in the country. 5 years down the road, many still hold the opinion that youth participation in politics is at a low ebb.
More than 60% of Nigeria's population is under 30. And you can see that perhaps in the last 10 years, young people in Nigeria have clamored for more representation and also more involvement in decision-making processes that affect their lives. The very popular Not Too Young to Run bill, where young people say, hey, we need to be given a chance to take part and contest for elective position in Nigeria, and that was successful. The government of the day, President Buhari, signed that bill into law, and he lowered the age for young people to aspire to be elected into the office. And we've had a couple of successes. A young man emerged speaker in the Oyo State House of Assembly. This current election that just held, we have quite a number of young people who contested and won in different places. In the Kwara State House of Assembly, at the national level in Parliament, we've seen that. But beyond that, there's also need for the government to have strategic engagement with young people at different levels. Today in Nigeria, very recently, we had a young lady who broke the Guinness Book of Record at age 27, Hilda. And that's an example of what Nigerian youth can do if given the chance. They can bring a lot of energy.
As a new administration comes on stream by May 29, following the conclusion of the 2023 general elections, the youth may not have secured so many elected offices, but expectations are high for greater youth participation in governance.
Involve more youth. We'll be happy if we can have a minister or the major people in the key government functionaries that are under 30s or at least under 40s or 40s below. We'll be very happy we can have them in the affairs of the government. Because if you look at the population of this country, this nation, the youth are the majority. There they say we are the leaders of tomorrow. When are we going to be in charge? Because we are still seeing the old folks in charge, and we want more youth to be included in this government, present government, the government that is coming on 29th of May. We want to see the new face of people. We want to see more youth. We don't mind if the president is old, but the youth are there in charge working. Everything will move on well, just like other countries.
If you can imbibe the attitude of efficient and effective utilization of the little resources you have, you will now know that the effective utilization will have a multiplier effect that will create opportunities for more jobs. So invariably, if you even create jobs and you don't mainstream productivity elements into them, those jobs will die.
Our youth are malleable. If we're able to instill the message to them early enough, we will achieve success, which achieve national productivity, and we will have improved standard of living.
There are those who hold the view that active citizen participation may not always entail being at the helm of affairs, but also understanding how decisions are made, as well as how to organize, communicate, and hold leaders to account as part of processes that strengthen democracy. Analysts agree that youth participation is considered essential, but changing political, cultural, and economic realities have greatly affected the active participation of youths in politics and governance. There is renewed hope that the incoming administration will live up to expectations on greater youth involvement in governance by engaging their potentials to engender growth and development.
The incoming president, our amiable president, is somebody that knows the importance of youth and women. The past administration tried, President Muhammadu Buhari tried to carry the youth and women along. And I know that the incoming administration will do better because it's the man that groomed people from youth. The chance in this administration is for the youth and women now.
What can the youth bring to the table is another question people are asking. Advocates of youth involvement in governance believe their energy and intellect are assets to the nation.
The youth come into the government a lot of things because with job creation in the government, the economic, and then also the social, and then the spiritual unemployment will be fast because the youth with their talent, the intellect, and then the power of the youth in political administration, in sharing their ideas and technological based on an educational active youth mandate. I think it's a great resources to the country.
People living with disabilities are another important group of society seeking to contribute to governance and development processes. They believe that physical disability does not preclude them from participating in governance and making intellectual contributions.
We expect inclusive governance. inclusive governance that is included or inclusive of us. You know, we are not asking for anything other than at least a minister, whether it's a minister of state or the mainline minister, whatever. Just make sure that we are represented in the cabinet, at the executive council, that one of us are there representing a whole over 28 million people. You know, 28 million is a lot of voice that must not be silenced or neglected.
Presently, there is no single minister who is person with disability and also representing person with disability in Nigeria. So we want a situation whereby we have ministers who are person with disability and they are representing the community of person with disability in Nigeria.
It is assumed that 15% of your country are persons with disabilities. So if you don't bring them and include them into your system of productivity, you are losing that to your gross domestic product. If if President-elect Tinubu does that, you will have states following suit. So you have 4 commissioners and you have 10% of commissioners. 10% at the local government level, 10% everywhere. Not special advisors, not special assistants, commissioners and ministers. That will raise the ante. And now when they sit in cabinets or when they sit in council, all council chambers will become accessible, physically and otherwise.
Persons with disability are more likely to experience adverse socio-economic outcomes than persons without disabilities. They feel more can be done to integrate them in governance and look up to the new administration to make a difference in promoting inclusive governance in the country.
Our people have a lot of skills. Some of them, we have professors, we have doctors, we have people that are mechanized, we have people that have mechanical skills. We have people that are market women, businessmen, petty traders, farmers, all specters of life. We have people representing all that. And we also have women as part of them. So I think in line with the Sustainable Development Goals SDG, the concept of leave no one behind is very important.
Persons with disabilities are bringing character, they are bringing competence, and they are bringing capacity. There are loads of them out there who have what it takes to, they run their successful businesses, they're in the educational sector, they're everywhere. If we're able to have ministers in the Federal Executive Council, education, for example, will see a change. So policies will be easier to implement because we're sitting in the engine room where decisions are made.
We will contribute to nation building by using our leadership skills. We'll also contribute to the economy, you know, by ensuring that we bring in investors. Do you know how much wheelchair cost? If they see that one of us is there and we bring issues of persons with disability to prominence, we will attract investment. Those who will invest in wheelchair production, cane production, magnifying glasses, large print materials. So we do have something that we can offer from economic side of things. From the insecurity, we can also offer something. Most people that creates a state of insecurity uses vulnerable people. And so one of us there standing up to say, look, don't subscribe to insecurity, don't subscribe to pressure. It's something we are bringing to the table.
There is consensus that timely interventions directed at engaging youth and persons with disabilities in governance are likely to yield greater returns and ripple effects for sustainable development.
We need to have our voice heard because, like I said earlier, there's nothing about us without us. If we are not there, who is going to advocate for us? Who is going to talk about our issues? Because for people with disabilities and all the disability clusters, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Every disability cluster has its own kind of demands, its own kind of expectations, and what we expect from the from the federal government at different levels should be looked into.
There is a lot of laws, the one signed by Muhammad Buhari, which we really want it to be implemented so that the commission established will stand on its leg and also become very strong.
While expectations are mounting for the incoming administration, those who seek greater participation in governance are enjoined to showcase capacity to make a difference.
I cannot agree less, Ibrahim, as capacity is critical for performance. No doubt the task before the next administration is daunting, but Nigerians expect it to hit the ground running and provide strong leadership, as well as take tough decisions when and if necessary to move Nigeria to greater heights. And that's it for 30 Minutes today. Look out for another interesting episode of the program next week. I am Mitaire Ikpen. Many thanks always for watching. Bye for now.